Chapter 61. You are listening at Mtlnovel.audio. My name is Qin Yu. I'm from a small, rural family, nothing fancy. I heard you dropped 7 million on this dark night breeze. That kind of money suggests you're pretty successful. Don't worry about that. Just get to the point. Alright, I'll be blunt. Xiao Zhenfeng's eyes flashed with anger. He pointed at the dark night breeze. I've got my eye on this car too. Name your price. I want to buy it from you. So, you want to buy my car? Qin Yu apologized, sorry, but I love this car. I can't let it go. You're turning me down without even hearing my offer. Fine, how much are you willing to pay for my car? 3 million. Enough? Nope. 4 million. Still not enough, not enough. Yun Chaoting was surprised. She hadn't expected Xiao Zhenfeng to offer so much, and that Qin Yu would turn down a $2 million profit like it was nothing. But then she remembered the supreme black card in Qin Yu's pocket. Still, she was a little worried. She didn't want Qin Yu and Xiao Zhenfeng to become enemies. Especially since Qin Yu didn't know Xiao Zhenfeng. If she had known this would happen, she wouldn't have let Xiao Zhenfeng hear about Su Wei getting the car key info. Hold on there, kid. How dare you be so disrespectful to the young master? The hunchbacked guy beside Xiao Zhenfeng had clearly had enough. Back in Shijiang City, nobody dared disrespect Xiao Zhenfeng's son. Even in Nanjiang City, the head of any big family would be on their best behavior around him. And now, he was being played by some nobody. Xiao Zhenfeng was getting angrier, but he kept his cool. He always acted tough, but in front of the woman he was trying to impress, he put on a gentle act. Ghost Knife, don't be rude. Yes, sir, Ghost Knife replied. Qin Yu thought the name Ghost Knife was strange, but he didn't say anything. Qin Yu, you're not happy with 4 million. Fine, name your price. What's it going to take for you to sell? Xiao Zhenfeng said deliberately. Honestly, he didn't care that much about the car. He just didn't like seeing the woman he was after getting friendly with another guy. That got him so mad. He had to have that dark night breeze, and he wanted to show Yun Chaoting that if someone else could afford something, he could pay even more to get it. Qin Yu grinned. Since you asked, how about 10 billion? If you're willing to pay that, it's yours. 10 billion. Yep, that's what the car's worth to me. Ha! Xiao Zhenfeng started laughing so hard he teared up. Qin Yu pointed at him, smiling. Alright, you're the most interesting person I've ever met, and the only one who doesn't kiss my butt. His smile faded. He narrowed his eyes, and his voice turned cold. I hope you're good enough to back that up. Also, a word of warning, Yun Chaoting is the woman I'm after, and I don't want any other guy getting near her. So play it smart, or else. He made a fist and punched the wall behind him. There was a loud crash, and a square meter of the wall turned to dust. Smoke filled the air, leaving a gaping hole. Or else, you'll end up just like that wall. Chaoting, sorry, I lost my temper. I'm out of here. Xiao Zhenfeng took a deep breath, said something to Yun Chaoting, and left. The hunchbacked guy, Ghost Knife, gave Qin Yu a look of pity, then followed Xiao Zhenfeng. Su Wei was pale with fear and trembling. Qin Yu stared at the massive hole in the wall, hardly believing his eyes. Walking over, he could see that it really was made of bricks, not just some decorative paneling. Damn! Did I just meet Superman, or some martial arts master? Qin Yu was baffled. It was beyond anything he knew. Su Wei, go on out. Don't say a word to anyone about what just happened, Yun Chaoting told Su Wei. Okay, Mr. Yun. I'm leaving now. Su Wei handed Qin Yu the info packet and hurried out. Sister Yun, who is that guy? Qin Yu tried not to sound worried. Didn't he say? That's Xiao Zhenfeng, from the Qiao family in Shijiang City. You really don't know who he is? Nope. That was the first time I ever heard the name. Be careful from now on. You just made an enemy. Knowing him, he won't let it go so easily. He could make things hard for you. Yun Chaoting sighed. It's my fault for not being careful. I never should have let you two meet. If he really comes after you, tell me right away, and I'll deal with him. If I step in, he'll back off. Seeing how worried Yun Chaoting was, Qin Yu didn't want her thinking he was a damsel in distress. Besides, he had the system. He was going to be the richest guy in the world. He could hire a few hundred bodyguards, all tougher than Qi Zhenfeng, and they'd crush anyone who messed with him. Feeling better, he smiled. Sister Yun, don't sweat it. Qi Zhenfeng doesn't scare me. You don't have to worry. I can handle it. Yun Chaoting saw that Qin Yu didn't seem scared. He seemed to have everything under control. And remembering the Supreme Black card, she felt a little better. Alright, but you should still be careful. You could always use more bodyguards. Okay, you're right. Qin Yu paused. He had wanted to ask about Qi Zhenfeng, and if he knew martial arts, but in the end, he didn't ask. He'd find out later. If he asked now, he'd just sound like a newbie who didn't know anything unless Yun Chaoting explained it herself. Oh yeah, Sister Yun, I wanted to ask you something. Qin Yu said. What is it? What's your connection to Yun Zhengang, the former chairman of Jiangyun Hotel? You're both named Yun. Is he your uncle or something? Or your dad? Why are you asking? Do you know Yun Zhengang? Yun Chaoting asked. I just met you today. I was curious. He's my uncle, he's a year older than my dad. He's 56 this year. My grandfather and Uncle Yun's father were brothers, but the family split up. My grandfather left the Yun family in Jiangnan City before he got married and went to Shijiang City to make his own way. So, you probably understand my relationship with Yun Zhengang now. Chapter 62. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What's your connection to the Jiangnan Qingyun family? Qin Yu asked, nodding. Not super close, but not estranged either. I see them during holidays and Chinese New Year. Yun Chaoting paused, then said, Hey, you mentioned Yun Zhengang used to be the chairman of Jiangyun Hotel. What's up with that? Isn't he still? I thought the Yun family always owned Jiangyun Hotel, and he's head of the family, so wouldn't he still be chairman unless it was passed down to another Yun family member? It wasn't given to another Yun family member. I'm the chairman of Jiangyun Hotel now, Qin Yu admitted, a little awkwardly. You? Are you kidding? I kinda accidentally bought all the hotel's stock, so I guess that makes me the chairman. No way. Why would Yun Zhengang sell Jiangyun Hotel? That hotel's like the Yun family's bread and butter. First, I bought Chao Jinghua's shares, then I picked up the shares Longxia Commercial Bank had a lien on, and eventually, he had to sell his shares to me, too. How much did you drop on it? 120 billion, Qin Yu replied after a moment's thought. Jiangyun Hotel's only worth, like, 80 billion. Why would you pay 120 billion for it? Qin Yu considered this. Basically, I stayed there once and liked it, so I bought it. Yun Chaoting was speechless, looking at Qin Yu with a frustrated, wry smile. That must be what it's like to wield the 5-element Supreme Black card. Spending money on a whim, with no regard for the cost, she was a little envious. Downstairs at Nanyangxing, a black sky shadow messenger was parked. Xiao Zhenfeng headed toward the car, and Ghost Saber hurried to open the back door for him. Xiao Zhenfeng slid into the car, his expression unreadable. Once Ghost Saber was in the driver's seat, Xiao Zhenfeng spoke, no need to tell me twice. Relief washed over Ghost Saber's face. He quickly responded. Boss, the kid's parents live out in the sticks. He owns 2 properties in Nanjiang City, Huajiang Plaza and Jiangyun Hotel. He just finalized the purchase of Jiangyun Hotel today. Any more intel than that is hard to come by at this point due to time restraints, but we're digging for it. Xiao Zhenfeng gave a cold smirk. All that, and he still dares to pick a fight with me, completely ignorant of the danger. Whatever his connections are, crush him. This is your job. If I see him alive again, Ghost Saber, you know what'll happen. Don't sweat it, boss. He won't make it through tonight. If I screw it up, I'll just turn myself in. Afterward, I have a use for the Jiangyun Hotel property, so I'll take it. Huajiang Plaza is worthless. Do whatever you want with it. Yes, sir. Xiao Zhenfeng narrowed his eyes, the hostility within them calming slightly as he spoke softly. Let's head back to Shijiang City. This is Fong territory, after all. If the Fong family is backing him, it could get messy. Boss, what's so scary about the Fong family? I've heard Mr. Fong is on his last legs. Once he's gone, the Fong family's eldest daughter will be defenseless. They wouldn't dare offend you at a time like this. Xiao Zhenfeng's mouth twitched. What Ghost Saber had said reminded him of someone. Ghost Saber, you won't say something like that again. Understood, boss. Xiao Zhenfeng sounded as if he were talking to himself, but his words were also a warning to Ghost Saber. Mr. Fong may be near the end, but he still has a breath left in him, and our Qi family can't afford to provoke him. Shijiang City's two most powerful families may seem neck and neck, but who knows what's going on behind the scenes. We always have to dance to his tune. Especially that monster Fong Mingyue. Xiao Zhenfeng gritted his teeth, his eyes filled with hatred and fear. That woman was his eternal torment and a demon in his heart. The only way to deal with her was to draw circles and pray for her death. Let's go back to Shijiang City to lay low for a while. Hopefully, I can take that next step. Then, Yinchao Pavilion will be mine. Xiao Zhenfeng's eyes gleamed. Let's go back. Shortly after the Sky Shadow Messenger pulled away, a sleek, jet-black supercar crept out the back exit of Nanyangxing, turning onto the main road. This was Qin Yu in his Bugatti Dark Night Wind. After chatting with Yun Chaoting, he decided to take off. He felt the air in the car was stuffy, so he rolled down the windows to air it out. Just then, the bald guy, Hu Biao, and the young woman exited the car dealership, empty-handed, standing by his big Benz. Hu Biao's gaze was immediately drawn to the Bugatti Dark Night Wind. He was even more shocked to see Qin Yu behind the wheel, with the window open. That car was so cool, anyone could tell it was seriously expensive. Hu Biao eagerly anticipated the roar of the engine as the Dark Night Wind shot onto the main road like an arrow, vanishing in a blink. His eyes bugged out, seeing Su Wei standing nearby, he hurried over to ask. Bugatti Dark Night Wind, 80 million. Learning the name and price of the car, Hu Biao's gait became unsteady. 80 million for a car? Some people really don't think money's real. I doubt I could make that much in my whole life. Hu Biao thought, dejectedly. He resolved that if he saw that car again, he'd have to snap a picture with the Dark Night Wind, no matter what. It would give him something to brag about later. The Dark Night Wind accelerated too fast. Qin Yu didn't dare to drive like that in the city. Plus, he was still getting used to it, so he was careful with the accelerator. The car headed straight for Jiangyun Hotel. Inside, he wasn't as calm as he seemed. Ever since he got the system, he'd been a little cocky, acting a little too brashly. He figured as long as he had money, he could solve anything. Then he ran into Qi Zhenfeng and got a reality check. That's when he realized there's always someone bigger and badder, and money can't fix everything. There are still things he can't touch. That punch had blasted a hole in the wall without much effort. Qin Yu was in a cold sweat. If that punch had landed on him, even the system couldn't save him. This was a wake-up call, reminding him of the risks. The car pulled up in front of Jiangyun Hotel, and the doorman rushed over to open the door. Seeing Qin Yu, he hesitated for a second before bowing respectfully. Welcome, Mr. Qin. Qin Yu handed him the keys. Please park it and leave the keys at the front desk. I'll grab them when I come down. Of course, Mr. Qin. I'll take good care of it. Qin Yu smiled at the doorman and headed for the lobby. Welcome, Mr. Qin. The two greeters had been waiting for Qin Yu. They both bowed. Chapter 63 Purpose of Check-in Point. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hey, Mr. Qin. Hi, Dong Qin. As Qin Yu walked into the hotel lobby, 2 staff members and the young woman at the front desk all rushed over, their eyes filled with respect. Thanks for all your hard work. Qin Yu nodded to each of them and moved on. Guessed the words out that I own this place. He figured everyone in the hotel must know he was the boss and had probably seen his picture. Han Xian was probably behind this, making sure no one accidentally slighted him. Boss. Han Xian, who was in the lobby, hurried over. Han Xian, how are things going? Is everything running smoothly? Qin Yu asked. No problems at all, boss. Han Xian continued, we've got a special room reserved for you, way bigger and more luxurious than 3601. I've already had it cleaned up. Want to go up now? Nah, I'm still in the presidential suite. Let's just keep that for now, Qin Yu replied. He wasn't in the mood to deal with it. He just wanted to get back to his room. He'd unlocked the level 5 sign-in, but hadn't used it yet. Okay, boss. Have a good one. Soon, Qin Yu was back in room 3601, he sat down and opened the system panel. The task of acquiring Jiangyun Hotel was complete, and the level 5 sign-in was ready to go, his first level 5 sign-in. What kind of loot box is this going to be? System, sign in. Qin Yu instructed eagerly, ding. Sign in successful. Received 10,000 sign-in points. Host, please check. *10,000 sign-in points. What the heck are those? Qin Yu's anticipation deflated like a punctured balloon. He looked at the system panel. Host, Qin Yu, age, 25. Physique, 50, normal, mental strength, 50, normal, skill, none. Sign in progress, 78 billion plus, level 5 sign-in unlocked, sign-in not refreshed, task, none. Sign in points, 10,006. Balance, 62.8327 billion. Backpack, X1. System, you're messing with me. This is a level 5 sign-in. It should be worth a company with a market cap of trillions, or at least some cold hard cash. What's with these sign-in points? Qin Yu grumbled. When the system remained silent, he asked, System, what are these sign-in points even good for? Host, sign-in points can be used to improve physique and mental strength. They can also be used to acquire skills or to request assistance from the system. Improve physique, huh? So, adding to my physique will make me stronger, maybe even a superhero? Host, I am unfamiliar with the term superhero. However, with enough sign-in points to sufficiently increase your physique, you could destroy the small planet you reside on with a flick of your finger. Small planet? You mean I could destroy Earth with a flick of my finger? Affirmative. The system answered tonelessly. No way. That's awesome. Qin Yu's heart raced, and he began to get excited, so that's how it is. With these sign-in points, I could beat up anyone with one finger tied behind my back. Qin Yu's mood completely turned around. Looks like these sign-in points are more valuable than anything else. Money can't buy physical enhancements, but improved physical fitness can make it easier to make money. System, how likely is it to get sign-in points when you sign in? Host, the chance of receiving sign-in points from a level 4 sign-in or lower is 0. The level 5 sign-in has a 10% chance, level 6 has 20%, and level 7 has 50%. Apart from system task sign-ins, you may receive sign-in points when completing tasks. Okay, what's the most common thing to get from signing in? Host, the most common reward is cash. Figures. Qin Yu fell deep in thought. The chance of getting sign-in points might be low, but that makes sense. If they were easy to get, where would he find enough cash to sign in with? He ignored the system task sign-ins for now. Who knew when those would pop up? His physique and mental strength were both at 50. He assumed mental strength meant exactly what it sounded like, the stronger the mind, the stronger the spirit. Let's upgrade first and see how this works. Qin Yu stared intently at the system panel and asked, System, if I use 10,000 sign-in points, how much will my physique increase? Host, 10,000 sign-in points will increase your physique by 10,000. Okay. System, use 100 sign-in points to improve my physique. Qin Yu didn't want to go overboard right away. What if he got too ripped? How would he meet people? How would he get dates? No matter how much money you have, no matter how strong your body is, it will be fake. Ding. 100 sign-in points deducted. Physique enhancement in progress. Completion in 1 minute. Qin Yu immediately felt a burning sensation throughout his body, from his skin to his bones. It was warm and comfortable. But soon, the warmth faded and transformed into a tickling sensation, like thousands of ants scurrying through his blood. Ding. Host's physique increased by 100 points. Enhancement complete. As the system announced the completion, the itching vanished, and Qin Yu felt incredibly refreshed. His body felt stronger than ever and perfectly comfortable. Qin Yu looked in the mirror. Fortunately, he didn't look any different. In fact, he might have gotten even more handsome. Not bad. Becoming handsome was an unexpected bonus. I love this system. That he looked at the system panel. Physique, 150, normal limit. Normal limit. Qin Yu paused. He asked, System, use another 5,000 sign-in points to improve my physique. Warning. Increasing physique by 5,000 points from the normal limit may overwhelm your willpower. The system recommends increasing mental strength by 2,300 points to reach the mortal body's 5th order limit first. Otherwise, you might mess yourself up. System, what do you mean by, mess myself up? Literal meaning. Fine. Then use 2,300 sign-in points to increase my mental strength. Ding. 2,300 sign-in points deducted. Mental strength enhancement in progress. Completion in 10 minutes. Pain, unbelievable pain, Qin Yu felt as if thousands of needles were piercing his brain. He almost passed out. After 5 minutes, his mind felt like mush, his soul was being sucked out and kneaded like dough. Even with his fuzzy consciousness, the pain remained constant. Qin Yu could guarantee this surpassed any pain he'd ever experienced. It was like being in purgatory, constantly being tormented. 2 minutes later, Qin Yu's head cleared, his consciousness returned, and his soul felt cleansed and renewed. From the endless pain, it suddenly became overwhelmingly comfortable, like ascending to heaven. Ding. Congratulations, host. Mental strength enhancement of 2,300 points is complete. Chapter 64 Murder. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Even though it hurts, it's totally worth it. Qin Yu's eyes were crystal clear, his mind sharp, and everything clicked into place. He could hear footsteps down the hall, picturing exactly who was walking. Even with walls between them, he could pick up sounds from hundreds of meters away. Looking out the 36th floor windows, he could make out pedestrians below and the clear river winding through the city. His senses were amplified, smell, touch, everything was heightened. This was the power of a sharpened mind. Qin Yu's thoughts were lightning fast and laser-focused. System, max out the physique enhancements using all my check-in points. What level will that get me to? Consuming all current check-in points will bring you to the 10th level of mortal body. Okay, how many check-in points does it take to reach just the 10th level of mortal body? Requires 7250 check-in points. Alright, let's do it. Use 7250 check-in points to boost my physique. Ding, 7,250 check-in points deducted. Initiating physical enhancement. Completion in 15 minutes. Qin Yu felt that familiar heat surging through his body again, only this time, it was intense, like he was on fire. Then came the prickling, like thousands of ants biting, itching, and stinging everywhere, under his skin, in his organs, coursing through his blood. The pain was almost unbearable, but Qin Yu gritted his teeth. This discomfort, like being sliced by 1,000 knives, was nothing compared to the mental fortitude training. He checked the system panel, watching the physique stat climb. 300, Tier 1 mortal body, 500, Tier 2 mortal body, 2300, Tier 5 mortal body limit, 4000, Tier 6 mortal body, 7400, Tier 10 mortal body. An hour later, Qin Yu emerged from the presidential suite's outdoor pool. He'd held his breath underwater for over 30 minutes without a hint of discomfort. The layer of grime and sweat from his enhanced body had been washed away, leaving him feeling completely refreshed. He felt like he had unlimited strength, like a sleeping dragon inside him, itching to unleash a punch. But he knew anything he hit would turn to dust, so he held back. Looking in the mirror, he seemed taller, more streamlined. He was lean, but radiated power. His face had sharpened, too. Qin Yu stared for a moment, then sighed. How did I get so good looking? With these looks and this aura, I'm gonna break some hearts. He was worried. He went to the bedroom and put on a designer outfit he'd bought the other day, transforming into a heartthrob with an irresistible vibe. His phone rang. It was Tang Qin. She was calling with a work update. The new company was registered, and the corporate account was open. The money Qin Yu wired her was transferred into it. She was at Huajiang Plaza, had already found a contractor, and construction would begin the next day. When they started talking about building a team, Qin Yu told Tang Qin to go straight to a headhunting firm for everyone, from executives to entry-level employees. If they didn't have the right people, she should have them poach talent with high salaries, especially for legal and finance. Money was no object. If she had to pay above market rates, even double, that was fine. He wanted the team built ASAP. If she hit a wall, she should throw money at it. He believed money could solve anything. Tang Qin, not one to be shy with someone else's cash, agreed. After a few more quick updates, she hung up. Qin Yu put his phone away, feeling empty and hungry. The physical upgrade had seriously boosted his appetite. He checked the time. It was past 6. Before he could call room service, his phone rang again. This time, it was Lu Kerson. Qin Yu, it's Lu Kerson. I'm having a dinner to celebrate my promotion tonight. All my co-workers are coming, plus Li Qiuping and Gui Yafang. We need you there. Yipentang, 7 o'clock tonight. Come whenever you're free. But get here on time. One great hall. Qin Yu asked, that's a fancy place. It's not cheap. Can you afford to treat everyone? Don't underestimate your girl. It is just a meal worth tens of thousands of dollars. What a joke. Tens of thousands of dollars. That ain't gonna cut it. And I don't buy that you can foot the bill. You get heartburn spending over $1,000. Qin Yu's mind was too quick. He knew something was up from Lu Kerson's tone. Spill it, he said. What's really going on? Qin Yu, who are you calling a cheapskate? Am I as bad as you? That she lowered her voice. Actually, the boss is paying. He told me to take everyone out, and he's covering it. He also hinted that he wanted you to come. He told me not to tell you about it. Got it. Then come, all right? Don't do it for me, do it for the free meal. I gotta do something for the boss if he's paying. You twisted my arm. How can I say no now? Okay, remember Yipentang at 7 tonight. See ya. She hung up before Qin Yu could answer. Hearing the dial tone, Qin Yu cursed under his breath. He called room service and ordered dinner. He'd better eat beforehand because he was starving. 10 minutes later, Qin Yu was done. His stomach was only half full. He knew his appetite was on a different level now. He couldn't have finished half this much before. He headed downstairs and climbed into his night wind. The supercharged engine roared to life, and the night wind tore down the road. With his enhanced mind and body, Qin Yu had mastered the car, gripping the wheel, understanding every component and nuance. On the road, cars gave Qin Yu's night wind a wide berth. The car sped towards Yipentang. He parked and checked the time. A few minutes before 7. He'd thought he'd be late, but he was early. He noticed a big black Mercedes SUV in the distance, and his eyes narrowed. He'd spotted it tailing him and sensed a hint of malice. Someone was coming to cause trouble. Who could it be? Xiao Zhenfeng. No matter who it was, he wasn't scared. With his new physique, Qin Yu felt a power he couldn't contain. He was itching for a fight, and it looked like someone was ready to give him one. Chapter 65 Confession. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Called Lu Kurson to find out which private room they were in. I walked into Yipentang, went up the stairs in the corner, and found them in the large private room, number 3. There were 3 tables set up. One was for the regular employees from Qishang Advertising's design department, and the middle one was for management and other staff. Li Qiuping, Lu Xiaotong, Li Ping, and Zheng Mei, the older financial worker, were at a table on the left. I was one of the last to arrive, so the regular employee table was already full. I smiled and greeted everyone before heading over to Li Qiuping's table. We used to be colleagues and got along well, so I wanted to be polite. Even though our positions were different now, I still felt like myself. I wasn't going to put anyone on a pedestal or look down on them, even with a little money. I'm just another guy when I'm around regular people. I walked past the middle table and went to the table where everyone was sitting. I was stunned. I felt like I'd swallowed a bug. Lu Kurson was smiling, pulling our landlady, Sister Huang, over to sit with them. Sister Huang was in her 40s, kind of chunky, with short hair and none of the usual feminine stuff. She was a good person, but she was also super chatty and loved gossip. I'd had to fend her off for ages the last time Suli visited. I really didn't want to see her, but I had no choice now. If Lu Kurson had mentioned that the landlady was coming when she called, I wouldn't have come even if you paid me. Qin Yu, you made it. I was just saying, you and Kurson live in the same building and work at the same place. How come I never see you? Guess you just got here. Figures. Hey Sister Huang, Lu Xiaotong, Li Ping, and Zheng Mei. Qin Yu, perfect timing. I was just telling Li Ping and the others about how you went to town at work. You went toe-to-toe with that bully Zhou Jun, ended up completely putting him in his place. Li Qiuping laughed. I glanced at Li Ping and Lu Xiaotong, who were giggling. You guys are making stuff up now. Maybe you should write fiction, I said, a little annoyed. You were always so focused on your work, you never showed that kind of fire. Too bad you quit, or there'd be a few single ladies at the company interested in you. Zheng Mei added with a laugh. Oh, Sister Zheng, you're teasing me now. Qin Yu, what's this about? You went toe-to-toe with someone. You got into a fight. And you resigned. Sister Huang, of course, jumped right into gossip mode, firing off questions. Sister Huang, they're just exaggerating. It's nothing. I just wanted a change of scenery, that's why I quit. Nothing exciting, so let's drop it. I said, cutting her off. From the moment I met you, I knew you were different. And you look even more different now. Did you get some work done? You seem taller and better looking than before. No, much better looking. Like a TV star. Li Qiuping seemed to have made some huge discovery, and her eyes were wide as she stared at me. You know, I was thinking the same thing, but I couldn't put my finger on it, Li Ping said seriously. He really is handsome, better looking than I do with a filter on. Lu Kurson agreed. She said beauty, not handsome. You guys just noticed. I've known for a while, and there's something else you don't know. Zheng Mei grinned at the 2 girls, who were chowing down on melon seeds. Tell us, Sister Zheng. Li Ping said. Look at the label on Qin Yu's suit. This stuff is expensive. Those sneakers are a name brand, too. He's probably spent a fortune. No way. Is that true, Sister Zheng? Qin Yu, tell us. Lu Xiaotong quickly looked me up and down. So you're loaded, Qin Yu. No wonder you quit. Your outfit costs more than I make in a year. I guess I'll have to call you Mr. Qin from now on. Wonder if you're taking applications for younger brothers. I knew people thought I was better looking, but when Zheng Mei started talking about the clothes, I just felt awkward. I tried to deflect. You guys are reading too much into it. My suit is just a good knockoff I bought somewhere, a few $100. Please, Qin Yu, I know brand names. Before I worked at Qishang, I worked in an Amani store, so don't even try. You were a salesperson in an Amani shop? I asked, annoyed and helpless. Zheng Mei smiled and nodded. Stop pretending, Qin Yu. Tell us how you got rich and handsome. Spill. Li Qiuping said seriously. I looked at the group, all staring at me curiously, waiting for an explanation. I sighed. Fine, I'm loaded now. Net worth of over 200 billion. I drive a luxury car and sleep in presidential suites. So wearing expensive clothes isn't a big deal. That I figured they'd find out eventually, so I might as well just admit it. Qin Yu, you remember that story about the boy who cried wolf? Stop lying and just tell us, Li Qiuping said, getting a little angry. Right, you're a rich dude with 200 billion, and I'm the prince of some giant corporation, Lu Xiaotong said sarcastically. Spit it out, don't keep us in suspense, Lu Kursan said. Li Ping was looking at me with puppy dog eyes, like she was picturing some famous movie star. I was speechless. Finally, Sister Huang chimed in. You know what, Qin Yu, I think I know what's going on. You're being taken care of, aren't you? Some rich woman is bankrolling you. That's the only thing that makes sense. That's it. Makes perfect sense, Sister Huang. Qin Yu, I didn't take you for that kind of guy. Guess you were just using your job as a cover so you could freeload off someone, Li Qiuping said. I couldn't believe it. Sister Huang was still the same Sister Huang, always jumping to the craziest conclusions. I had to say something. Don't go making up stories. It's nothing like that. So just drop it, okay? I said, using a little bit of my mental power to make them accept what I said. Okay, if Qin Yu doesn't want to talk about it, we won't push it. Don't want to make him mad, Lu Kursan said, trying to smooth things over. The others nodded. What about your girlfriend Su Li? Why didn't she come? Sister Huang asked. They broke up, Li Qiuping said without thinking. Sister Huang perked up. Qin Yu, is that true? That I glared at Li Qiuping, feeling helpless. Yeah, it's true. Chapter 66. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What a shame, that girl's gorgeous. Why the breakup? Sister Huang sighed, then perked up. Hey, breakups happen. Qin Yu, didn't you have a thing for Guiyafang? She's single now, go for it. You're looking sharp these days. You two would be a perfect match. How did Sister Huang know about Qin Yu's crush on Guiyafang? Loose lips courtesy of Li Qiuping. Qin Yu shot a dirty look at Li Qiuping. Speaking of Yafang, where is she? Qiuping, did you call her? That was Lu Kursan. Like Qin Yu, she was a little intimidated by Sister Huang. Unfortunately, Li Qiuping had dragged her along, and she didn't know Sister Huang would be here. Kursan, yeah, I called. She said she's bringing a friend. Should be here any minute. Alright, we'll wait. I need to go schmooze with those colleagues first. You guys grab some snacks, make yourselves at home. Go on, don't worry about us. Lu Kursan glanced at Sister Huang and scurried away. Qin Yu cursed under his breath. If he'd known, he would have bailed. Hearing that Guiyafang was on her way, the gossip mill started churning again. Zheng Mei piped up, so, she's hot enough to have Qin Yu all worked up. Sister Huang elaborated eagerly, gorgeous. A total knockout. You'll see. She shares an apartment with Lu Kursan and Li Qiuping. I'll never understand how those three ended up together. Guiyafang's a stone-cold fox. And Li Qiuping and Lu Kursan? Not so much. Especially Li Qiuping and her mug. Hey, Sister Huang, knock it off. Li Qiuping whined. Everyone erupted in laughter, Qin Yu included. Okay, so Qin Yu's into Guiyafang. When she gets here, we'll play matchmaker. Zheng Mei suggested. Good call, Zheng. If it works out, Qin Yu owes us big time, Li Ping chimed in, grinning. Alright, everyone, wing it, Sister Huang said, a glint in her eye. Qin Yu was about to tell them to butt out. He hadn't given Guiyafang a second thought in ages. Then Li Qiuping announced, look. Yafang's here. But, heads up, she brought a guy. Looks like she's got a boyfriend. Following Li Qiuping's gaze, everyone turned. Even Qin Yu looked up. Sure enough, Gui Yefang was walking toward them, followed by a taller man in a suit. Li Qiuping waved, signaling Gui Yefang to come over. Gui Yefang made a beeline for them and plopped down next to Li Qiuping. The man sat beside her. Seeing all eyes on her, Gui Yefang said a bit sheepishly, "Sorry I'm late. I'm Gui Yefang." "Hi, everyone." Lu Kursen rushed over and helped Gui Yefang introduce her friend to the three colleagues, then she pointed at the man and asked, "Gui Yefang, your boyfriend?" Gui Yefang nodded. "Just officialized it. He's my boss's boss. He's been pursuing me for ages, and his sincerity won me over, so I figured I'd give him a shot." "Gotcha. Hey everyone, let me introduce myself. I'm Liang Shaowen, Marketing Director for the Project Department at Qin Yu Real Estate Group. Pleasure to meet you all. If you're ever looking to buy, hit me up. I can hook you up with the best deal." The man launched into his spiel, then stood, pulled out a stack of business cards, and passed them around. After sitting down, he casually plopped a shiny new Mercedes key on the table. "Marketing Director, huh? Must be rolling in it," Li Qiuping said, eyeing the business card. "Not rolling, $1 million or so a year. If I perform well, it's more. My uncle rakes it in, though. He's the general manager of the project department," Liang Shaowen said, trying to sound humble. Those words landed with a thud. The others looked at him with newfound admiration, especially with that Mercedes key on the table and the Rolex on Liang Shaowen's wrist that he flashed whenever he could. $1 million plus a year, an uncle who was a general manager, and potential for major growth. No wonder Gui Yefang, the total babe, went for him. Qin Yu took the business card, glanced at it, and tossed it on the table. He looked at Gui Yefang, who seemed to be deliberately avoiding his gaze. Qin Yu's mind worked fast. One glance was all it took. Gui Yefang wasn't really into Liang Shaowen. She'd always said she wanted someone tall, rich, and handsome, but she'd clearly compromised. Qin Yu smiled. He didn't feel jealous. He looked at Gui Yefang and seemed to understand the choices she had made. The thought gave him chills. Lu Kursen looked at Liang Shaowen, then stole a glance at Qin Yu. She felt bad for Qin Yu. Even if Liang Shaowen had the money and connections, if she were Gui Yefang, she'd pick Qin Yu any day. Qin Yu was a looker. Liang Shaowen was tall and skinny, and his face was not great. She didn't get Gui Yefang's decision at all. "Forget it," she said, "the food's coming out any minute. I'll go check on it." Lu Kursen walked off. Soon, the waiters started bringing out the food, placing a few bottles of wine and drinks on a nearby shelf. A few people said they did not want to drink, and finally everyone poured drinks. Qin Yu was famished. He buried his face in his food. "Shoot, I wanted to set up Qin Yu and Gui Yefang. Didn't realize Yefang snagged a boyfriend so fast." People were chatting while they ate, and Sister Huang's comment hung in the air. It wasn't loud, but everyone heard it. Qin Yu's hand froze. The others paused mid-bite. "Huh, so this guy's got a thing for my Yefang, huh? Figures. Who can blame him? She's gorgeous," Liang Shaowen said smugly. Seeing Qin Yu toss his business card on the table, Liang Shaowen was annoyed. And seeing Qin Yu's face made him jealous. Qin Yu noticed Liang Shaowen's change. A small smile played on his lips. Gui Yefang's definitely a looker. Who doesn't appreciate beauty? But, you two don't really click. What's that supposed to mean? I'm not good enough for Gui Yefang. Liang Shaowen snapped, his face darkening. The air thickened. Everyone set down their chopsticks, ready for a show. "Hey! Everyone, chill out. Why are you two already at each other's throats?" Gui Yefang said loudly. She glanced at Qin Yu and paused. Something was different about him. He was handsome, of course, but he carried himself differently, showing off his style. Just then, there was a commotion at the next table. The door to the private room opened, and two people walked in. It was Zhou Shanghua, the big boss of Qishang Advertising, and Wang Ji, the CEO and general manager of Jiuyuan Games, the two entered the banquet hall together. Zhou Shanghua went first, chatted with the employees, and then Lu Kerson came over and invited them to sit at the middle table. Chapter 67 Toast. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zhou Shanghua shook his head. Where's Mr. Qin, Manager Lu? Is he around? Mr. Qin. Lu Kerson echoed. Yeah, Qin Yu. He's here. Over there. Lu Kerson pointed him out. Zhou Shanghua's face lit up when he spotted Qin Yu. He glanced at Wang Ji and then turned back to Lu Kerson. We're good, you can get back to work. Wang and I are gonna head over there. He and Wang Ji grabbed a couple of empty glasses and filled them with white wine. Then, each holding a glass, they made their way to Qin Yu's table. Check it out, the boss and Wang are coming our way. Looks like a toast is in order. Shoot, we've only got drinks in our glasses, Lu Xiaotong said, always the observant one. No kidding, the boss really is coming over. But why the heck is Wang from 9 Yuan Games with him? Did we rate that high? Zheng Mei wondered aloud. Don't overthink it. Go get the hard stuff. Too late. They barely finished speaking before the two bosses arrived. Zheng Mei, Lu Xiaotong, and Li Ping started to stand, but Zhou Shanghua waved them down. He smiled. Don't mind us. You all just sit tight and enjoy your meal. Wang and I are just here to toast Mr. Qin and then we'll be on our way. Mr. Qin, that everyone was a little thrown. Who was Mr. Qin? The only Qin they knew was Qin Yu, and these big shots were going out of their way to toast him. They couldn't believe it. Just then, Su Shaoan flashed Wang Ji an eager smile. Uncle Wang, you remember me, right? I'm Su Shaoan. Su Shaoan. Wang Ji looked at him questioningly. And you are? My uncle's Li Deegan. He and you hang out a lot. We met at the club last time, Su Shaoan rushed to explain. Oh, right. Li from Tianhu Real Estate's project department, your uncle. Wouldn't have put it together if you hadn't said something. Wang Ji's mouth tightened a bit at the mention of the club. A few people around the table exchanged awkward glances. Gui Yefang frowned, clearly not thrilled. That's right. For a second there, I thought you were coming over to see me, Mr. Wang, Su Shaoan said, casting a smug look around the table, lingering a little longer on Qin Yu. See that, he seemed to be saying. Even Wang from 9 Yuan Games is tight with me. Wang Ji's mouth twitched again. He shot Su Shaoan a disgusted look and muttered to himself, what a pain. With a smile pasted on his face, and two empty seats beside Qin Yu, he and Zhou Shanghua sat down and spoke directly to Qin Yu. Mr. Qin, didn't expect to run into you here. What a coincidence. Zhou and I wanted to come over and give you a toast. Exactly. Tonight's the company due for Lu Kerson's promotion. Wang and I just wanted to join the fun. Then we see Mr. Qin, and figured we should have a drink. You don't mind, do you? Zhou Shanghua added quickly. Qin Yu glanced at the drink in his hand and grinned. My glass isn't white wine, if that's okay. No, not at all. It's better than white wine, Mr. Qin. So, to you, we'll drink whatever you're having, Wang Ji said, raising his glass. Zhou Shanghua mirrored the gesture. Qin Yu raised his glass, nodded, and took a sip. Wang Ji downed his in one gulp. The three of them chatted and drank like it was the most normal thing in the world. Everyone else just stared, speechless. Lu Kerson, who'd been standing behind the boss, gaped in surprise. Mr. Qin really was Qin Yu. Zheng Mei and the others sat there like mannequins. What were they seeing? What's better than liquor? You really said that out loud? You do whatever you want, Mr. Qin. Get out of here, Qin Yu, you sly dog. You're an invisible boss. No wonder you were acting so weird today, 'cause you didn't want to blow your low-key cover. You're showing off now, A million thoughts raced through their heads. Su Shaoan, on the other hand, sat there with a grim look on his face. He could tell Qin Yu was somebody. Wang Ji might be the boss of a game company, but next to Qin Yu, he was just another guy, and Qin Yu was clearly interested in Gui Yafang. He glanced at Gui Yafang and saw that she looked both shocked and regretful. Now that she knew about Qin Yu's identity, she was probably already planning her move. Su Shaowen's face darkened. He'd been chasing Gui Yafang for 2 solid years, and he'd even been on his best behavior, rarely seeing other women. After all that work, Gui Yafang had finally agreed to be his girlfriend tonight. And then this had to happen. Looks like I need to find out a little more about this kid. If he wasn't all that, Su Shaowen thought, don't blame me for getting a little rough. He thought of his sworn brother, Hu Biao. Meanwhile, Lu Xiaoming, an employee from Qishang Advertising's design department, had had a little too much to drink and went out for some water. Coming out of the bathroom, he overheard someone say, "Quick, check it out. There's a super expensive supercar parked out front. Better hurry if you want to see it." TCH, a supercar? Big deal. Like I've never seen one before. I'm gonna go get something to eat, another said. Do you even know what car it is? Let me tell you, it's a Bugatti Dark Knight Wind. I know one when I see one. You mean one of those Bugatti Dark Knight series that cost like, what, 10 million? Yep. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go. The two took off. Bugatti Dark Knight Wind. Lu Xiaoming was a car fanatic. Every guy had his dreams. He knew that car was limited to just 3 in the world. Now that he knew one was parked outside, he couldn't resist. He ran back to private room number 3 to tell his co-workers the news. The words Bugatti Dark Knight Wind, along with the crazy price tag, spread like wildfire through the room. After Wang Ji and Zhou Shanghua toasted Qin Yu, they didn't rush off. They stayed put and chatted. With the 2 bosses still there, the others at the table couldn't relax. They tried to eat, but it was hard to focus. They watched Qin Yu, laughing and joking, and the 2 bosses hanging on his every word. It was unbelievable. Zheng Mei watched Qin Yu, and then Gui Yafang, and knew exactly how much regret Gui Yafang was feeling. No one had expected Qin Yu to become this guy. Compared to Qin Yu, Su Shaowen just looked like some clown. As people from other tables started leaving, word about the Bugatti Dark Knight Wind made its way to their ears. 10 million, Bugatti Dark Knight Wind, one of only 3 in the world. Hold my spot, I'm gonna go take a look and grab a selfie. Lu Xiaotong jumped up and left. Chapter 68. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Then Li Ping, Li Qiuping, and Zhang Mei took off too. Su Shaowen, not wanting to just sit around, nudged Gui Yafang. Gui Yafang paused, glanced at Qin Yu, and then got up and headed downstairs. Sister Wang was still chowing down, so Lu Kersen hung out beside her, listening to Qin Yu and the others gab between bites. As Qin Yu ate, he listened to Wang Ji and Zhou Shanghua's gossip. Once he was done, he set down his chopsticks and said, "I'm stuffed. Gotta run." He stood up to leave. "Mr. Qin, take it easy," Wang Ji and Zhou Shanghua said, getting up to see him off. "Qin Yu, you sure you ate enough?" Lu Kersen teased. "Ate before I got here." Qin Yu looked at Lu Kersen and added, "Let's catch up sometime." "Okay." Qin Yu then told Wang Ji and Zhou Shanghua, "Appreciate it. If you need anything, hit me up." With a nod to Sister Wang, he walked out. Wang Ji and Zhou Shanghua were thrilled to hear that, saying, "Okay, Mr. Qin, see you later." Downstairs at Yipentang, Qin Yu spotted his car, the Dark Knight Wind, mobbed by a crowd. A bunch of leggy young women in skimpy outfits were snapping photos of it. Others were practically jumping up and down, waiting for their turn to take a pic. Even Zheng Mei, Li Qiuping, and the others were up front, checking it out. Lu Xiaotong stared, drool practically pooling on the ground, gushing over the car. The Dark Knight Wind was causing a stir, not just because of its insane price tag, but also the flashy license plate. Everyone was waiting to see who the owner was. They wanted to see who was baller enough to own such a ride. Gui Yafang watched from a distance, green with envy. "If only I could be riding shotgun in that $1 million sports car," she thought, looking at Su Shaoan and making up her mind. Director Su, don't bother seeing me out. I'm gonna stick around a bit. Director Su. She was on a first-name basis with him earlier, and now it's Director Su again. The message was clear. Su Shaoan's face darkened but then quickly plastered on a smile. Yafeng, you staying? Don't stay out too late. Call me later, okay? My phone's always on for you. I'm out. Bye. Su Shaoan stormed off to his Mercedes, bought by his uncle not too long ago. Huffing, he jumped in and sped off to his usual nightclub. Qin Yu recognized some faces around the dark night wind, and he saw Gui Yafeng too. He headed straight for his car. He nudged through the crowd and got to the side of his Bugatti. A young woman in a miniskirt was taking a selfie. She glared at Qin Yu and snapped, "Hey, even if you're cute, you gotta wait your turn, okay? You're messing up my shot." Ignoring her, Qin Yu pulled out his key and hit the button. The dark night wind responded with a honk and a flash of its ambient lights. The crowd went silent. The owner had arrived, so young. So good-looking. And kinda aloof. Even better, he wasn't with a girl. That was all the ladies needed. They all swarmed Qin Yu. "Hey handsome, where you headed? Can I get a ride? Hey, my feet are killing me. Can I hop in? Bro, no lie, I'm crushing on you hard. You feelin' me too?" That the come-ons were relentless. The woman in the short skirt, who had just told Qin Yu to beat it, was losing her mind. She knew her chance had come. She was so close to the drop-dead gorgeous car owner, she had to make a move. She struck what she thought was her best pose and simpered, "Hey cutie, what do you think? Am I pretty?" Qin Yu felt a chill. "Excuse me," he said, "can you please move?" He gently pushed her aside, opened the door, and hopped in. Two girls, not ready to give up, leaned down and knocked on the window. "Hey, can you give us a ride?" Qin Yu ignored them, nodded to Xing Mei, Lu Xiaotong, and the others, and then the dark night wind roared out of the intersection, windows up, leaving behind only a cool and handsome silhouette. "So hot. I'm in love." The one woman swooned, wishing she could be with him tonight. "Qin Yu. That's Qin Yu's car. He's driving $1 million supercar." Lu Xiaotong was losing it. He remembered what Qin Yu had said. Was he serious about that 200 billion? Zhang Mei was quiet, starting to understand why the company bosses had been so respectful to Qin Yu. Li Ping's eyes were red, and regret washed over her. Li Qiuping, on the other hand, was ecstatic. She thought, "I've got a young millionaire living right next door. I'll be bragging about this for years." Gui Yafeng, standing speechless in the distance, was beyond words. Qin Yu drove off. After a while, he made a right at an intersection, weaved through traffic, and soon left the city behind, heading out to the suburbs. He was driving fast, but nowhere near the car's limit. Qin Yu stared ahead, his face grim. Starting from Yipentang, the Bugatti dark night wind finally stopped after more than an hour. He pulled over at a fork in the road, at the edge of a large open area. There was no road ahead, just overgrown bushes. From the start, Qin Yu knew he was being followed. Not just the car from Yipentang, but another one as well. Qin Yu's senses were sharp. He could feel an intense malice coming from the second car. Whoever was in there had probably taken a lot of lives. Being targeted by someone like that, there was no mistaking their intent. They were out to kill him. He got out of the car, enjoying the cool night air and the bright moon. Two dark SUVs pulled up slowly, and 6 men in black piled out. They silently surrounded Qin Yu, closing in. The leader looked to be about 40. His long hair hung over half his face, hiding one eye and half his nose. The other half of his face was scarred with pockmarks, making him barely recognizable. His one good eye stared coldly at Qin Yu. This man was half-face, a notorious hitman feared throughout Xinjiang and Nanjiang. He wasn't the strongest fighter, but he was ruthless and had killed countless people. No matter who you were, you'd die by his blade. He was also a wanted criminal with a laundry list of offenses in Longxiao. Chapter 69 is too weak. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Got a smoke? That the half-faced guy was still 15 feet away when Qin Yu glanced at Mingyue, asked the question, and turned around. He hadn't smoked in years. It always gave him a sore throat, so he slowly quit. Now, he wanted a cigarette. Seemed like the right move for this situation. He wasn't sure if he was nervous or just needed to set the mood. Qin Yu could tell the man approaching had a build way tougher than average, but compared to Qin Yu, the difference was still night and day. The guy paused, took in Qin Yu's calm, fearless expression, and smirked. A gravelly voice rasped, "Yeah." He pulled out a pack, lit one, then tossed the pack and a fancy lighter over. Qin Yu caught them, sparked up, and took a slow drag. After a couple of puffs, he flicked the smoke away, then tossed back the pack and lighter. "Who sent you? Care to share?" The half-faced man caught the items and, hearing Qin Yu's question, growled. "Don't worry about that. I just kill. I don't know who signs my checks." "Was it Xiao Zhenfen?" A flicker crossed the half-faced's eyes, but he didn't say anything, as if beneath him to answer. "How much did he pay you?" Qin Yu asked again, as if he knew the answer. The half-face took a drag, a hint of mockery in his rough voice. "Kid, seeing as you're keeping it cool, I'll level with you. We're not in it for the money. That stuff's useless to us. We're wanted men in Long Xiao. Spending money out in the open is suicide. Think of us as shadows in the dark, here to collect heads. So don't think you can buy us off. I know you're loaded, so what? Just lie down and die. If it's not money, what do you want?" Qin Yu asked, curious. A thought flickered in his mind. He sensed someone else lurking in the shadows. "Enough talk. Time to meet your maker." The half-face waved a hand, and 4 guys in black popped out of nowhere, machetes flashing. They charged Qin Yu. 2 came at him first, one swinging high, the other low. The blades were brutal and precise, aimed to kill. They'd clearly done this a million times, but to Qin Yu, they moved slow and weak. Like a baby swinging a toy, the half-face looked bored, turned away, and took another drag. They were sending 6 of them after some kid who wasn't even a fighter. Talk about overkill. The boss must really want this guy gone, but hey, easy money. It was just a shame his blade wouldn't taste blood this time. Suddenly, wind rushed past him. 2 figures flew past and landed hard in front of him, then 2 more. The half-face finally tensed. He spun around to see Qin Yu standing still as a statue. He checked on the 4 on the ground. Each had a fist-sized hole in their chest. Their insides were mush. They were gone. "You're a fighter, a 4th-level body-tempering fighter." The half-face turned, his gaze locked on Qin Yu, judging the other's strength. "No wonder you're so cocky. You're a body-tempering level 4. He frowned. "Why can't I sense your energy?" Knowing Qin Yu was a body-tempering level 4 gave the half-face pause. He was only level 3, a level 3 stood little chance against a level 4, but the kid couldn't be more than 20. He probably didn't have much combat experience, plus, there were 2 of them. The other guy was level 1. They could take him if they worked together. He also had a trick up his sleeve. Enough chit-chat. Let's get this over with. Now it was Qin Yu's turn to use his words against him. It was the first time Qin Yu had really cut loose, and he thought the 4 were jokes. He'd held back, only using 4 levels of strength, and still one-punched each of them. He thought, I need to practice and learn how to control my strength. Killing these guys is one thing, but if I accidentally tap some regular person, the half-face glared at the other guy, then drew his own short sword. The blade gleamed faintly, forged with level 2 materials. Here we go. Qin Yu's eyes narrowed. He'd taken out the others too easily. No fun at all. He hoped these 2 could put up more of a fight. He could feel the blood and organs inside the half-face. They were different from ordinary people's, 10 times stronger. So this was what he meant by fighter. The blade flashed, and the 2 moved at the same time. The half-face became a blur, charging Qin Yu, blade aimed at his head. Clang. Qin Yu caught the tip of the blade between 2 fingers of his left hand. The half-face paled. His grip on the knife spasmed, but he couldn't move it. Before he could think, his other fist shot towards Qin Yu's chest, then came a scream, and Qin Yu flew backward, the half-face left arm flopped uselessly. His right hand still clutched the sword. Qin Yu finally released the blade, the difference in power was insane, a gulf of unknown levels. The other guy lunged in, blade aimed at Qin Yu's waist. He wasn't as fast as the half-face, but he moved a lot faster than the first four. Qin Yu hopped back, tapped the blade with his toes, and kicked the guy's head with his other foot. The man's skull shattered, and he dropped dead. Another short fight, same result. Qin Yu won easily. Too weak. That was Qin Yu's assessment of the 6, now 5 dead and 1 seriously injured. You're a godly warrior, that the half-face spat blood, staggered to his feet, and gasped in shock, godly warrior. Qin Yu heard him call himself a warrior earlier, but now he was saying godly warrior. He figured out this must be what they call the ranks of fighters. Without answering, he said, "Got any last words? Or should I just finish this?" The half-face dropped his knife, as if resigned to his fate. He looked defeated. "I'm done for. I guess I'll die at the hands of a godly warrior. So it ends," he sighed. "I killed too many people to avenge my family and get my hands on resources. But I never even made it to the bottom of godly dirty. And now I meet you. Blame it on me for being average." Chapter 70. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qin Yu said, clearly annoyed, "You guys are obsessed with revenge and settling scores. Get over it, already." Half-face gave a weird laugh. "Fine, kid, then how about you just die?" He produced a palm-sized metal sphere, ready to hurl it at Qin Yu. Before he could even move, Qin Yu had grabbed his neck, one quick squeeze, and half-face collapsed. Qin Yu eyed the rolling metal ball with curiosity. Some kind of new grenade, maybe. Half-face's murderous intent was clear as day, so Qin Yu knew he was holding something back. Sure enough, the moment he moved, Qin Yu sensed danger. Without hesitating, he rushed forward, grabbed the guy's neck, and finished him off. "Not bad, kid. You're fast and skilled, but you fight like a brawler. Seems like you never learned martial arts," a voice said. An old man in his 60s, with a strong back and sharp eyes, emerged from the shadows. "You with them?" Qin Yu asked, unsurprised by the sudden appearance. He'd sensed the old man's approach and was on guard. With the other 6 dead, this guy showing up now could be friend or foe. "Relax, kid. I'm hunting these guys down myself. Just happened to run into you fighting them. Hey, easy with that iron ball. There's a button in that groove. Mess with it, and you'll be lucky to walk away alive." Seeing Qin Yu pick up the metal ball and examine it, the old man quickly warned him. "What is this thing, anyway?" "You know?" Qin Yu asked, pointing to the ball. "You don't know? Never seen one?" The old man stroked his thinning hair. "Tell me, kid, what's your name and who raised you?" "Name's Qin Yu. I don't come from a fancy family," Qin Yu answered truthfully. "Not a rich kid." The old man was even more curious. "Then how'd you become a god-tier warrior?" Don't worry about how I train." Qin Yu stared at the old man, remaining cautious, and asked, "You said you were hunting these guys down. Who are you, really?" "Let's just say I'm a special operative for the Dragon Xia Nation." The old man's answer was vague. Qin Yu's eyes lit up. "So, me taking out these 6 guys is okay, then?" "No worries there. They're all criminals. Half-face especially, he was just added to the D-list for some seriously nasty crimes. I just happened to be in the area. So, I did society a favor." Qin Yu smiled. "Could you tell me more about warriors, then?" The old man's eyes widened. "You're telling me you've never even heard of warriors?" "First time today." "Huh, so you're a newbie." "Well, basically, a warrior uses the blood or crystallized blood of a blood-devouring ironclad beast to break their physical limits. The ranks of warriors, beyond simple body and organ training, include transformation masters and chi control masters. That should give you a basic idea. The old man finished. Qin Yu didn't respond. He gleaned two key pieces of information from the old man's explanation: the blood-devouring ironclad beast and the warrior ranks, both things he knew nothing about. His current 10th level physique was apparently equivalent to the level of a warrior. After a moment of silence, he said, "Old man, what level are you at?" "Want to throw down?" That the old man chuckled. "I'm a half-step transformation grandmaster, think you can hang? I know you weren't going all out just now, but you're still way out of your league. Don't be so sure. How about a straight-up strength contest?" Qin Yu rubbed his chin. He figured he had a decent chance of winning if it was just a contest of raw power. Using weapons or moves was a different story. The old man feigned reluctance. "Oh, all right. Seeing as you're so eager to learn, I suppose I can humor you. It'll be good for you to see the difference between a god-tier warrior and a half-step transformation master." He acted like he was doing Qin Yu a favor, but he was actually eager to test the kid's limits. Qin Yu's lips curled into a grin. "When do we start?" "Hey, put that thing down first. Let's head into the woods. Fighting here, we're likely to end up totaling that sports car of yours. Then let's go." Qin Yu put the metal ball down and followed the old man into the woods. "Ready?" After finding a suitable spot, they faced each other about 20 yards apart. The old man spoke first. "Let's do it." The instant he finished speaking, a gust of wind arose as the two collided like afterimages, their palms striking each other. The sound of the impact was like thunder, the air pressure strong enough to whip their clothes and rustle the surrounding leaves. They both staggered back several steps. The old man looked shocked. "Color me impressed, kid. All right, this time, I'm holding nothing back. Are you ready for 100% of my power? Then let's go all out." Qin Yu gave a faint smile. You think that was your best move? "I barely scratched the surface, star." This time, the old man's energy flared, forming a white mist around his body. His fist shot out. He spoke a phrase gently in his mouth. "Heaven and earth shattering." Qin Yu also unleashed his strongest palm strike, empowered by his 10th level physique. Boom! The sound was like a bomb going off. Fist and palm collided, the surrounding wind like a blade. Bushes were uprooted, and leaves fell in ribbons. Both were knocked back a long distance before they could regain their balance. Qin Yu's breathing stabilized after a short burst of energy. He wasn't injured, but his body felt weak. After a few minutes, the exhaustion faded, and he was filled with strength again. He was also delighted. Finally, he had been able to unleash his power, like a volcano erupting. "Awesome," he grinned at the old man. "You want another round?" "I'm just getting warmed up." He could see the old man was more hurt than he was from the exchange. The old man, who had been focusing on regulating his breathing, twitched at the corners of his mouth and muttered, "Let's call it a draw for now. I'll look you up again." "Sure, I'll see you around." Qin Yu nodded casually and walked off. Long after Qin Yu had left, the old man finally coughed up a mouthful of blood. He said to himself, "What kind of monster is that kid? How could someone like that exist in this backwater? In his 20s, and already as strong as me, and it looked like that was his first fight ever. I'll have to look into him when I get back." Qin Yu unleashed his speed, rushing along the suburban road. He pulled out his phone and made a call. When the call connected, Chao Jinghua's voice came over the line. "Brother Qin, what can I do for you?" Qin Yu chuckled. "Brother Hua, I hope I'm not interrupting anything by calling so late." Chao Jinghua laughed. "Brother Qin, don't even mention that. I'm always happy to hear from you." "I'm calling to ask about someone," Qin Yu said, getting to the point. "Who's that?" "Do you know Qiao Zhenfeng from the Qiao family in Shijiang City?" "Qiao Zhenfeng? That's the one.